Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm going to show you how to create a bright, colorful, mixed media looking background with stamps. For those of you who want the look of mixed media but struggle with the imperfections, then this tutorial is for you. You're going to learn how easily you can recreate this look. I'm also going to share some tips for selecting pattern papers for your scrapbook pages. I can't wait to share this project with you. I'm going to be working with the January Hip Kit collection. I love the bright colors and patterns during these darker days of winter. They bring such a wonderful vibe to the craft space. In the main kit, you'll receive 12 double-sided pattern papers, chipboard frame stickers, puffy alpha stickers, puffy phrase and title stickers, chipboard shapes and twine, and a package of ephemera. As I create the project, I'll bring in a few additional supplies, and I'll list those in the description below, along with a link to the January Hip Kit. One of the biggest challenges we have as memory keepers is choosing a pattern paper that will enhance the photos and help tell the story. Today, I'm going to explain my selection process. I'm going to record a memory of these three ladies and their painting adventure. I chose to back the photo in black. Not only does this bring out the people and paintings in the photo, but pairing black with brighter colors creates emphasis and makes vibrant colors pop. In the photo, the ladies are dressed in black, blue, and a peachy pink color. Of course, we want the focus to remain on the people in the photo, but the paintings are part of the story, so I'll choose colors that will emphasize those as well. I'm going to bring in a few patterns that I already selected. This floral pattern is filled with color and matches the beachy theme in the photo, but it is a busier pattern and might be too much for the page. The preppy blue happiness pattern brings out the blue hues in the painting and some of the blues in the clothing. One of the more prominent colors in the painting is that splash of yellow, so I'm going to add a strip of the charming pattern. These two hues complement each other on the color wheel, so I know it's going to be a great match. I want to make sure that I still bring focus to the people in the photos, so I'm going to add another vertical strip in a pinkish hue. I'm going to tuck these behind the photo so that I can figure out which one will work best. The priceless pattern matches her shirt, but the two zigzag patterns are making this feel a bit cluttered and unbalanced. I've also discovered that it's best to have a more structured pattern, like these dots, when you're using multiple abstract patterns on a page. While the softer color does bring out this person here, your focus goes right to her. I think that the darker dreams pattern does a better job of making your eyes see the photo as a whole. Alright, so I went ahead and cut out a tag with that pattern, and you can see how this is starting to come together. Now I want to create a fun border over on the right side of the page. I'm going to use the items in the January color kit. This includes a set of splatter pattern stamps and 4 hues of water reactive ink cubes in Taffy, Thistle, Lemon Drop, and Splash. The images are going to be stamped next to that charming pattern, so I'm not going to be using the Lemon Drop color. I would rather bring in vibrant colors that balance out the darker hues I've added to the page. I'm going to start with the Thistle color and place that right in the center with this large stamp. Now, instead of removing the ink with a splash of water, I'm going to create a soft pooling effect by spraying the water directly onto the stamp before I place it on the page. This is going to create a softer pooling effect as the ink starts to react with the water. Above and below the Thistle color, I'm going to place the blue splash color ink blots. Again, I'm spritzing water over the ink on the stamp, and this creates a variation of color once I've stamped the image. To make the two splash colored images look different, I'm using the opposite side of the stamp to create the image below. This is a simple way to make these splatters look more random. As I stamp the next two images with the Taffy color, I would love it if you tap that subscribe button and let me know that you're new here. If you're already a subscriber, let me know that you enjoyed this project by tapping the thumbs up icon or leaving me a comment below. I would love to know if you've been inspired to use some stamped images on your next scrapbook page. To finish this off, I'm using the smaller splatter stamps next to the large images to make it look like I have created splatters. I did spritz a small amount of water onto these as well to give them that softer pooling look. Now that all of my images have been stamped, I'm going to create another layer with some black acrylic paint. As I said earlier, I am bringing black to the page to make those colors appear more vibrant. Black also does a great job of grounding a page with vivid hues. It also creates stability in bold colors. Alright, I'm going to finish this up and set it aside to dry, and then I'll show you how I complete this page. Off camera, I layered this onto some black cardstock and created a bold frame with wonky white stitching. I also added this product strip pattern on either side to finish the edges. I've laid my photo in place over the upside down tag, then framed all the elements with some black stitching. This was done by hand using 2 strands of embroidery thread. Alright, we're going to go ahead and place down a couple of embellishments. Since I added all those bright colors on the right side of the page, I want to bring some balance over here on the left. The kit comes with these adorable little chipboard circles, and I want to create a banner with these. I have already marked where I want these to sit, and I'm going to use a punch tool to create holes at the top. This is a little more difficult than I thought it would be. I'm trying to hold them with tweezers so that I can punch the holes, and I'm realizing that those bifocals my husband says I should go get would really come in handy right now. Eventually, I punched all the holes and thread some black twine through. It was worth the struggle because this is turning out really cute. As I'm arranging these on the layout, I'm adhering them in place with foam tape. It did take me a few moments to get these all in place, but it turned out so cute, didn't it? Now, I often cheat when I'm making banners. Instead of tying the bow with the leftover twine, I trim it down. Then I make that bow separately and adhere it in place. I like to use glue dots, but liquid adhesive works too. I'm also going to add some twine to the tag. This softer color comes with the chipboard collection, and it has a little more texture than my black twine. A needle threader comes in handy when you have larger hands like mine. I'm just going to place that wire loop through the tag hole and bring that thread right through. I'm going to tie a knot and fray the ends, and then I'll bring in a second bow for my banner and adhere everything in place. All right, I'm going to bring in some florals and a few other items and place those around my photo. Right away, I found this sweet little paintbrush with florals in the die cut collection, and I think it's perfect for the page. Around this, I'm going to tuck some florals that match the inks and the circles in the banner. I'm also adding a journal card here at the top. Almost all my scrapbook pages are given away, so I make sure I leave a blank space for each one of my friends and family to add their stories. One of the easiest ways to create layers of florals is by repeating colors and shapes. I brought in 2 yellow daisies and darker blue flowers. I did move that blue one right away because florals look better when the colors are sitting opposite of each other. I also brought in a floral cluster in purple and pink. This gives me a cluster of 5 items in this area here. To balance this out, I'm going to add some more to the cluster at the base of the photo. I'm going to bring in a purple flower and a pink cluster of leaves. Now that paintbrush is super cute, but the phrase really wasn't fitting my photo, so I decided to layer a cluster of flowers over it and add another phrase from the Puffy sticker collection. The addition of another yellow flower also created a nice visual triangle with the others on the page. Alright, now that these are in place, all I have left to do is add a title. I'm going to create the phrase, "This was so good," using Puffy letter stickers. I don't know about you, but I can't ever get my letters to sit straight. I've tried placing them onto rulers and transferring them, but I'm all thumbs. Instead, I place repositionable tape on the page and use that as a guide for my letters. I know that rulers have a guide that helps with spacing, but I don't struggle with that, so I just use the tape. I would love to know your tricks for placing letters evenly onto your projects. Do you use a ruler, a guide, or just wing it and hope for the best? I'm going to go ahead and finish this off camera, then I'll share the completed layout with you. To finish off the title, I brought in this puffy phrase that says, "What color will make today perfect?" There was more to this phrase, but I cut it off and hid the open end with a chipboard arrow. I also added some puffy leaves to the title and sprinkled some puffy hearts onto the page. These are just too cute. Now, I'm not much of a bling girl, but I just had to try out the gems in the kit. Once I placed them in the center of the larger flowers, I had to add them to every single one, and I love how it looks. Today, I showed you how to create this vivid scrapbook background using some simple stamping techniques. Mixed media can often feel a bit overwhelming, so I decided to keep it simple with water reactive inks and a little bit of paint. The result is an amazing background that complements the rest of the page beautifully and helps tell the story. I hope this project inspired you to try something new. If you're one who likes to pin photos to inspiration boards, I've added still shots of this layout in the Hip Kit Facebook group and on my website for you to use. I want to thank you for joining me for another scrapbook project. If you would like to see more of my creations, you can visit my channel or follow Miss Carrie's Creations online. If you have any questions about the project or supplies listed below, feel free to leave me a comment. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.